Hello guys, today I thought I would share 10 of my must-have stay-at-home mom items. They're sort of from a variety of categories, but these are things that I use either daily or that are like critical to some of the things that I get done on a daily basis. I'm going to try to get this done fast because Ani is currently sitting beside me and looking at some books quietly. She has some quiet music going in the background, so if you can hear that, that's what that is. But let's hop into this. Alright, item number one is my double insulated water bottle. This is from Costco. Lauda and I really wanted hydro flasks just because we know they're really good. We have friends that love them. But we were at Costco one day, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and we saw these. I think they're called like thermo flasks. But these have held up really well. This was my daily water bottle when I worked out of the house, and I drink water out of it every day now. We jazzed it up with some vinyl stickers, just to add a little personality to them. But hydrating is important no matter what you do, but I feel like particularly as a stay-at-home mom, it's really easy to get so wrapped up in your child or children that you forget to take care of yourself. So I keep this out where I can see it, and generally just seeing it like on the counter or whatever room we're in is my reminder to drink water as the day goes on. Next up is an item I've been ordering again for a couple years now, but now that I stay at home, I love it. I'm not a huge essential oil person, but there are a few that I really like. Peppermint oil is one of my favorites. I don't get nauseous very often, but if I'm nauseous or have a headache or just feel tired, a little bit of peppermint oil, like, just jump starts my engines, I swear. So this is the one I have. It's Nature's Truth Peppermint, and this is in like a roller one. I actually prefer the spray bottle one, and I'll see which of these items I can find on Amazon, and if I can find the exact thing that I bought, I'll link it below. But for this one, if I link it, I'm going to link the spray bottle because I feel like it's a little bit more potent. I do use this most often when I have a headache. I rub a little bit on my temples and a little bit behind my ears, and then I take some medicine, and this generally knocks the headache out enough that by the time the medicine's kicking in, I feel 100% better. So this brand is not expensive, definitely compared to some real oils, which makes me think it's probably not that high of a quality, but it works for me for what I use it for. Moving on into stay-at-home mom slash just mom in general tasks, these have to do with laundry. First one is the one that I use first if we have stained laundry. Generally, Ani is the one staining her laundry, and it is Spray and Wash Laundry Pre-Treater Stain Stick. Again, we've used a couple different brands, but this one is easy to find on Amazon. It stays good for a long time, and it works really well on our stains. So what I do is, if Ani gets food or whatever on her clothes, when we take them off for that night, I put this on it, throw the clothes in the hamper like normal, and then when it's time to do the laundry, I use this. And again, this is in a bunch of different brands. We buy this at Big Lots. It's $5. I think on Amazon it's like 10. More convenient to not have to run out, but this is the brand that we like. And if clothes are very stained, I will put the recommended amount of this in the washing machine and let the clothes with the stain stick on them soak in this, and then I add more and my detergent and wash like normal. 9 times out of 10, that combo is enough to get any stain out. Next up is kind of a funny one. It is this infant boppy. I think it's like the infant lounger. Ani liked it when she was little, but she grew out of it pretty quickly, and it was still in the house. I thought about throwing it out in the garage with sort of the outgrown baby items, but in a moment of inspiration, I started using this as a cushion for when we're on the floor. It is perfect size for a mom butt, and it makes playing on the floor or reading books on the floor, any activity on the floor, so much more comfortable. So if you have one of these laying around, I highly recommend it as a mom seat. Speaking of reading on the floor, one of my favorite ways to read to Ani is reading her novels that I liked as a kid and or novels that I'm just reading, and I do that on my Kindle. This is a Kindle Paperwhite. I think the battery's dead currently. Oh no, it's working. Lauda bought me, again, this years ago, and it is still going strong. So it's a little bit of an investment. I think they're pricier now than they were when I bought mine, but they're also waterproof, and mine is not. But the battery on this thing will last like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much you read. When we went to China for 10 days, I took it, and the battery was good the whole time with plenty to spare. So if you're a big fan of reading, this is great. It's lightweight, it's small, and it's so much easier than trying to read a big novel, particularly if you have a toddler running around. So, Kindle Paperwhite. I forgot to mention with my Kindle that a lot of libraries allow you to download ebooks like a normal rental, directly to your Kindle. It's a much cheaper way of reading books that you're not sure you're gonna like. With Ani's case, it's a much cheaper way of reading a bunch of kids' books to her that we're not gonna buy. And especially right now, because we're not personally going to the library, it's an easy way to get new books into our rotation. So that's just a nice feature I feel like some people don't know about. The next item is my Rocketbook Wave. I think I've talked about this before. If you're not familiar with them, it is a reusable notebook. We've had this one, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself constantly, for at least 3 or 4 years. It was Lauda's first, and then when she quit using it, I took it as my own. And the way it works, if you're not familiar with it, is you use particular pens. So I use the Pilot Friction ones. I think for a long time you could only get them in black or blue. We have them in a variety of colors. I'm a big doodler, so when I worked in an office and was in meetings, I doodled in that notebook a lot. And you just write like you normally would. And if that's all you want to do when you're done with it, you can either erase it with the pen, or if you want to save the data, it has this QR scanner, and then these little icons down here, you set them up to either go to your email, Dropbox, Evernote, depending on if you use those. And when you do the QR scanner, it'll send the data directly to that online application, and you can save the data that way. Or once the whole notebook is full, you can put the entire thing in the microwave with a mug of water on it and microwave it, I think in 30-second increments until the logo disappears. And when you do that, the heat will actually get rid of all your notes as well. I just love this thing. It's handy. It's a little pricey. I think it's like $30 or so. But considering I've used this one notebook for a couple years now, we're getting our money's worth. Granted, in our family we're not, because Lauda's always buying other notebooks. But if this was the only notebook you used, it'd be great. Last but not least is moving into some tech-related items that I use daily or very often. And the first is a Bluetooth speaker. I'm not going to bother to link this. We have a couple different ones. We like all of them. I feel like most of the ones that you pay, let's say $20 to $70 for, work great. This is one that we use right now. It's a Sony, I don't know if it has a name, SRS X2. We have 2 of these, and we have some sort of like weatherproof one that's waterproof, sandproof, so we do that one when we're going on trips, but these work great for us at the house. Ani and I listen to a lot of music, audiobooks, podcasts through the day, and I like just leaving my phone in one location and carrying this around with us room to room, but Bluetooth speakers are great. And our house is small enough that no matter where we leave our phone, the speaker will work throughout the house, which is definitely nice. My next item, used particularly here on YouTube as I'm editing and saving video clips, but also I'm working very slowly at backing up all of Ani's pictures throughout her first 1.5 years of life, is an external hard drive. Again, I've decorated mine with some stickers from different board games. But this one is the Seagate 2 terabyte. I've been exceptionally happy with it. It works really fast. I think I have all of my YouTube videos to date saved on it, and we're still at like 1.9 terabytes of availability. So if you're not familiar with what storage sizes are, 2 terabytes, I think for the typical person is plenty. But yeah, it's worked really great. It works with our Mac. I've read reviews that say it works great with PCs too. I think this was about $63. We did get this on Amazon, so again, I'll put a link below. But yeah, I can't say enough about this. External hard drives are so important, especially if you're in school or have a lot of like financial things saved to your computer. You want to have them backed up either in the cloud or in an external hard drive, ideally both places. And then last but not least is an item that we bought when we went to China, again, I think in 2016, and have used so often since then, particularly recently. I think we've talked about it before. We have the iPhone 6S's, they're about 5 years old. Battery life, not so great. So we have a battery bank. Again, this is something I'm not going to link below because there are a million different brands, a million different sizes, and I think a lot of them work great. This particular one is the Black Web, 8,000 milliamps, and this will completely charge our iPhones about 5 times over. So from, dead or very low battery all the way up to 100, 5 times over. And this one does have 2 ports, although very recently I've somehow managed to break one of the ports, so you can see that like white piece is missing. We got this at Walmart. I want to say we paid $25 for it, and it was totally worth the investment. When we were going places, it was so nice to throw in the diaper bag and know We could take video and pictures of Ani as we went without worrying about our phones dying. So those are the 10 things that I find to be my stay-at-home mom / mom in general. I think even if you're not a stay-at-home mom, most of these items would be exceptionally handy. But those are my 10 essential items for a mom. I feel like they make my life a lot easier. But at any rate, we will see you tomorrow. Bye!